Alright, for this matchup we have Supreme King Pendulum with some Zoo Tech versus Predaplant Burning Abyss, the deck that never dies. So this is a feature matchup. It was an interesting matchup, so we decided to choose these two, Calvin and Cam, at the feature table. Of course, you guys don't want to see all Zoo matchup, unfortunately. People, to keep up with Zoo, they decide to tech a bit of Zoo into their deck, but it's okay. The deck's main focus is still the Supreme King Pendulum. I guess most of it's the Supreme King Pendulum stuff, so we'll see how that actually turns out. And I believe Cam will be the one going first, and he does have an Orphis Scorpio and a Twin Twister. I cannot see Calvin's hand, so Calvin is on the white side, Cam is on the black side. So Orphis Scorpio has been activated, he has to discard for cost. He's going to throw away the Babar, and Calvin immediately chains off the Ash Blossom. That would have been very devastating, letting him search a Brilliant Fusion and get a rank 3, which would have turned into a Dante. So we're going to see a scale of the Luster, and we're going to see a scale of Supreme King Darkworm. So you guys, if you guys don't know Darkworm, Darkworm was actually one of the best common monsters that came out in the previous set. It is definitely one of the best cards out there in terms of a pendulum monster because it has the ability to basically revive itself. So we're going to see Cam activate Twin Twister, discarding a Farfa, blowing up the 2 scales. Well, now we have another... Oh, wow, Supreme King Gate 0 and a Supreme King Dragon Darkworm. And he's a pendulum everything out, including the Whiptail in his hand. So there's the Zoo Tech. The Zoo Engine just basically fits everywhere. But wow, we have a potential chance of seeing... Well, he's going to get himself a nice search here with the Broad Bowl. Now, he does run, I believe, the Dragoon's Draconia. So he can fetch scales. There's more options to fetch than just Zodiac monsters. I believe his Zoo Engine is actually relatively small, too. But he's going to go for a Ram Ram. Ram Ram does provide that extra bit of recovery. We can even have a potential to see a Ignister right here. But right now, both the game immediately going into a low resource situation, both players running very low on cards in hand, and I believe Cam is actually quite far behind after he takes a swing from these monsters. Is Calvin going to go for the damage, or is he going to go with the banishing? Of course, this board is going to finish with a Trident, and there is a potential he could synchro into Ignister and bring out another monster, which would be Master, out of the deck. So he's going to go with the damage, so he's going to swing into the Orphis Scorpio. And that's going to be 600 damage, the 18 to the 12, and then we're going to get an 1850. And we're going to take a 12. It's been such a long time since I've seen a Luster. But 1 card in hand for Calvin, 1 card in hand for Cam, I believe. With the Twin Twister ditching a card, with the Orphis Scorpio ditching a card. Yeah, he should be down to 1 card. But that's a tour guy. He still has a chance to come back, maybe. Not too sure about that, thanks to the ability of Dryden. See, by putting out a Dryden, you always get that free 1 for 1. And that card in hand is a Ghost. It is a Ghost Ogre, so it doesn't look too bright on Cam. He needs a board wipe. So we're going to see an overlay of Magister Paladin, long time no see, and he's going to probably put out a... Oh, he's going to go to Chakinine. Chakinine just... Okay, wow. Okay, so he put out an extra body of the Whiptail that he detached off of the Chakinine, and then he's overlay into the Dryden, which gives that extra body, which is nice, and then they also get the Dryden utility. And we're going to get a search of the Skullcrobat Joker and the Dark Hole. What a nice top deck. Perfect way to clear everything. And since everything got overlaid on top, basically he lost everything. Like, there's nothing in terms of Pendulum going back to the extra deck. That was a good, very, very nice top deck. Now, oh, see, here's the thing about Darkworm. Darkworm, once per turn, when you control no monster, you can special summon it itself out of the graveyard for free. And when it's special summoned out, you usually get a free search for another monster. But the thing is, he already has his 1 copy of Supreme King Gate 0. So, one very interesting tech that Calvin is running right now is Dragon Shrine, where he throws a Master into the graveyard and then throws the Darkworm in there. And then he revives the Darkworm, which fetches him in a scale, so he gets a monster and a scale from 1 card, which is a plus, very good plus. And we get a Pendulum summon. We're going to see a pop of a Ram plus a Pendulum Sorcerer. Or not Sorcerer, but the King Gate. So he's going to get himself the Pot of Greed play. And the Ram will trigger. And the Ram is going to bring back that Whiptail. That Whiptail is a lot stickier than what I've seen from even Zodiac players. And we're going to see a Barrage. Oh my god, this onslaught. I believe this game is pretty much over. I think he can actually do enough damage to actually clear off everything. We're going to see the Ram revive. Is he going to use that is he going to use the Barrage? No, he's going to overlay the Digesto Emerald first, and then he's going to do a Barrage pop. Therefore, he can actually get up 2 monsters because the Ram will revive the Whiptail. Yo, he's going to bring out a Rat. Man, he's just like... That one play, just... Look how many monsters are just coming out. Thanks to the play, like Pendulum Sorcerer, of course. Pendulum Sorcerer being one of the most powerful monsters in the game. Even now, like, if you don't prepare yourself for stuff that you don't consider in meta, you could be punished for something like this. Like, they are still powerful cards. Just because they're not in meta doesn't mean that their effects are, well, neglectable. It's definitely not neglectable. And as you can see right here, this whole comeback basically came from just one card. That's Skullcrobat Joker. And Skullcrobat Joker putting him at 3. Man, oh my god, top decks into a Max C. I don't think Cam can actually come back from this. And I believe he's actually going to die. Now, if Calvin... Is he going to overlay on top of the Rat? Right now, he can't actually do the Pot of Greed play. He's still stuck with a Dark Worm in the scale. So take an 18. Nope, never mind. The 18 is not going to go through. He does have that Ghost Ogre set, so that basically negated the entire battle phase. And we're going to see another Chalky 9 made. Chalky 9 is going to go ahead and revive himself. What's going to revive him? A Broad Bolt. No, that Broad Bolt is negated right now, and we're going to see another Trident. Trident activate. Cam, are you gonna use the... Oh, he's gonna pop his own scale. No. So yeah, okay, so he used this to get rid of the Ghost Ogre. Ghost Ogre obviously can chain on the field and kill off that Trident. I'm not sure if that was a misplay, but immediate Maxi and that therefore pass turn. Wow, that Shotgun Maxi didn't get any value, but Cam is down to 1 card after all. So we're gonna see a Digesto Emerald shuffle back a bunch of cards, putting it back in the Luster and some extra deck cards. Oh man, if he draws into a Duelist Alliance here, this game is as good as over. But instead he gets a Barrage. See, the best part about Barrage is you can Barrage pop scale. And now Calvin does have the ability to draw 2 more cards because he did fetch the Turtle Lizard Draw combo. So we're gonna see another Ram. And yeah, we're gonna see an overlay of Tornado Dragon, and no, he's gonna scoop this one up. So Calvin takes game 1. Wow, from very low resources, from like just having 1 card in hand with like a scale on board, all the way to fulfilling, like basically filling up the entire board with monsters and recovering about 2 more cards in his hand. It was pretty intense, I would say. That was very, very crazy. So the Pendulum Supreme King stuff does provide you with a lot of synergy and a lot of quick access to combos, especially if you do open with a Dragon Shrine. I hope we get to see the Dragon Shrine kind of play go on, instead of just being Zoo going nuts. Okay, we're gonna see a Rhino. So Farfa has been special summoned, and we're gonna see an overlay. Now remember, the Rhino does protect the Burning Abyss, not Burning Abyss, but Fiend type monsters, and we're gonna see a Dante Mill with the Rhino. We'll see a Alec, a Kaiju, I believe, and one of the Rhinos will trigger off now. And he gets to send into the graveyard any Fiend type monster into the grave. One of the best monsters that ever came out for BA would be that. Now we're going to see a Graph sent to the graveyard. Graph will activate, and we're going to see some action here. Okay, we're going to see a Skarm. Skarm has been summoned onto the field from Graph. Now, for those of you guys that are kind of like this deck, Burning Abyss, playing in this current format. He is playing a lot of kaijus to deal with, I guess, some of the more annoying monsters. The most annoying monster, I guess, for Burning Abyss would be the true Draco stuff. If there's a Masterpiece on board, that is one of the most difficult things to get rid of, because you're all monster effect based. If they have that monster effect based Masterpiece, yeah, you're gonna be really screwed. Even your Fusion Dante can't run it over, and all your monsters don't affect it, so you basically don't have a toolbox to deal with them. So the kaijus became extremely necessary. So we're going to see another overlay with a Skarm plus that's a Seer, I believe. It's been a long time since I've seen these guys. And we're going to see another Mill 3. And so Skarm did get sent to the graveyard, so there could be a chance of something being played here. So Skarm effect? Yeah, Skarm is going to go off. So it's going to get that nice Ulti Tour Guide. And there's 2 back row. So he draws into his Supreme King Gate 0. That's the card that you actually don't really want to draw into because it's the most easily searchable card. By far, there's like 6 cards that go into it. But we're going to see a normal summon of a Ram. Seems like we're just seeing some Zodiac plays going on. Now you might be wondering why Calvin's playing his scales like up at the front. It's just because there's a lot of glare on where the pendulum zones are. So as you can see just for now. Okay, so he's going to get himself a nice search. I believe he is going to go into a Chucky 9 right after to bring back that Ram. That is the most obvious line of play to go into. I don't believe he runs Hammer Kong. He needs the extra deck space for most of the other utility provided from his pendulums and the synchros and the Xyz that he does play. I believe he also runs a Dynaster just for the extra protection of his scales. And it kind of makes it a little bit annoying for Dryden. There's the Chucky 9 bringing back that Ram. Ram is such a high value card. Perhaps some people believing that Ram is more important than Rat at this point. Because Ram is the one monster that does let you grind the game out for a very, very long time. But the double Dante wall, what are we going to see from this? So the Supreme King Gate 0, there's really no effect that I need to mention about that card because we're not going to see any Zarks. Okay, so he plays out the other Supreme King Dragon Dark Worm. Pendulum 1. So he's got that Whiptail on the field. Unfortunately, he doesn't have access to his Ignister, so I wonder what he's going to try to do with his extra deck. There's a lot of high value stuff under the Dantes. We got a Seer and we also got a Farfa. Farfa will be the utility to actually get rid of a monster. We're going to see a well, if there's a Seer, that means you didn't really actually get rid of the monster, so whatever you spent to get rid of it is not really worth it. Oh, we're gonna see a direct attack. Oh no, it's not a direct attack. He's actually gonna try to kill off the Dante. The banishment of Dante is a very good way to actually deal with it because it is a banish. So we're gonna see some damage on Calvin. Calvin will be taking 13, but he banishes the Dante, so that's good. But Calvin will be getting hit with a Farfa now. Unless Cam doesn't want to get rid of... Farfa probably should target that Borbo. That would actually kill off at least one of the materials. Overall, everything kind of sucks for him. The only thing that's kind of low value would be the Ram since you can't overlay with it and it comes back during the end phase anyway, so there's no point. Just take away the Ram. Huh. That's strange. I would have taken away something else. I at least kill off perhaps one of the Whiptail that's attached to the Borbo. But now we're going to see a Dryden. That Dryden now does have a material under it, and that's one of the worst situations ever. But we're going to see a Dryden and pass turn, and the Ram is back on the field. Yeah, no real value there. So we're gonna see a Dante mill. Dante's gonna mill a Farfa, a Compulse, and a Flying C. Chainlink 1 is the Seer, Chainlink 2 is the Farfa. Farfa is going to probably kill off the Dryden. Dryden is going to chain. He's gonna pop the Dante. The Seer has to target something. Seer's gonna go with the Graph. Chainlink 3, the Dante will now be destroyed. Chainlink 2, we're gonna see the Dante. Sorry, not Dante, the Dryden being banished. And Chainlink 1, I believe the Graph is now on the field. And everything is as resolved. Okay, so well, three back row to two back row. Things currently, well, in terms of card count, Cam has 1, 2, 3 cards in hand, 2 back row, and a Graph. Oh my god, a Kaiju Slumber. Well, I'm actually kind of glad he actually got his mill out first from the Dante. So we're gonna see a Gameciel and a Jizukuru. So Whiptail is going to be summoned out, and then we're going to see a Graph summon. Graph is going to summon a Burning Abyss monster, except that the Burning Abyss monster will be immediately destroyed upon summoning, which will give him a very nice search at the end phase. So there is still a tour guide in Cam's hand. I do recall him searching it earlier. So we're going to see the tour guide right now. Tour guide summon. I'm actually not too sure of what Calvin plays in his back row, because as a Pendulum deck, back row isn't exactly in your favor unless you play Ariadne, a bunch of like a Solemn Brigade in the back. So we're gonna see a Farfa summoned out from the tour guide. I guess that's a good backup plan overall. We're gonna see an overlay. I believe it's gonna go into another Dante. Dante can run over the Gameciel. Excuse me. But just remember that anything summoned from an interrupted Kaiju Slumber has to attack and cannot change battle position. So let's hope that that is not a mistake that these players make. Let's say detach. One. Oh man, mill the Max C. Oh, a Fairy Tale Snow. That immediately that crappy mill becomes a good mill, even though it did lose a Max C, but it's okay. Calvin doesn't have anything in his hand anyway, so Max C wouldn't have been an ideal draw to begin with. And now we're gonna get a Seer discarded, and I believe we're gonna be seeing a Dante summoned out, because that would be the highest value summon that would actually live on the field. So now we got a Beatrice. This Dante is going to be summoned out and attack. I guess he's pushing for the extra bit of damage. We're going to see Dante attack into the Whiptail that only has 400 defense, so that's good. This is 1100 damage.
33. Oh, I'm sorry, 25.
And then we're going to see a 25. Dante will go to defense mode. Cam's in a pretty good spot now. He actually fought his way back. The triple back row could all just be bluffs, since nothing really went through. It could be just a bunch of barrages just to bluff out the back rows, just to scare you from playing your normal game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Dante is back from the Farfa, and we're going to get a search for the Scar, which is going to be the Babar. The Babar could be very useful, just because as long as you can start grinding the life down from Calvin, the Babar could be the finishing 900. He doesn't exactly have too much to play with. His pendulum skills are filled, but there isn't too much. He needs his back row. If his back row does not have any value, if there are not spells that he can immediately utilize, this is going to be a bad time. Even Raigeki is a bad card right now, just because there's a Dante and a Beatrice, which would result in, well, Fusion Dante, the Pilgrim of the Burning Abyss, to come out, and the Dante will also retrieve a card from the graveyard. Overall, not a good situation to be in if you drew a board wipe. Oh, the Trident is now going to turn into a Chaki 9. Oh, that is going to hurt. He's going to detach the Farfa from the Beatrice to ditch a Skarm, and now Farfa is going to banish the Laika, or the Chaki 9. Chaki 9 is gone. We're going to see a Cosmic Cyclone hitting a card, so that's going to cost him 1,000 life points, but that puts him at a seriously low amount of life if you compare it to the board in terms of number of damage. Well, that's a good hit on the Torrential, because that's essentially a board wipe. We're going to see a Zodiac Barrage. This is Comeback City. I am not sure if one Zodiac monster can actually deal with this entire board. Well, okay, if you get yourself a Rat eventually going himself into a Whiptail. Whiptail can clear off the... Well, you don't want to hit into the Beatrice. You want to hit into that Dante. Because if you hit the Beatrice, you're not going to live. And then you can use Trident Pop to clear off the... Well, you can use Trident Pop to clear off... the Jizukiru. And Fairy Tail Snow has been activated. Let's not forget about her that just got milled last turn. We're going to see a banishing of 7 cards, and then there goes the Tiger Border going face down, so we're not going to see the ultimate comeback play that can come from one Trident and one Whiptail. One Trident, one Whiptail is a very scary thing, because it essentially can clear 2 to 3 monsters, and Calvin is going to scoop it up right there because he knows it's too low on life, and we're going to proceed to game 3. So, well played by Cam. A very good use of his Farfas controlling the board. Note that Zodiacs are really dependent on the main phase 1, getting into that very scary board. I keep on saying very scary. But it is a very high control board that a lot of people just can't really deal with. The setup is where the Zodiac player is weak at, because if you interrupt the setup, they're not going to be able to establish that board, and the monsters on the field won't feel like a threat, and you can actually play your normal turn of Yu-Gi-Oh! So we're going to see a scale of Pendulum Source. Oh my god, the old school broken combo, Luster and Sorcerer. That is one of the worst boards to see back in the day. Oh man, it got Ogre. That's unfortunate. That would have been the best play. Like a really good start. He doesn't need to open any Zodiac monsters as long as he can overlay 2 monsters into a Broad Bowl. But oh, here we go. A full commitment to the board right away. So we have a scale 6 and a scale 2. We have a search for the Supreme King Gate 0 from the Dark Worm. Just a scale 0. Yeah, this can get pretty insane. We're gonna see a... What is this? A Synchro? He's a Synchro into Ignister. Long time no see, Ignister. One of the most powerful Synchro monsters in the game. Basically an out to most like monsters that aren't even... well, can't be targeted and it cannot be destroyed. He's the best out because he doesn't target, he doesn't destroy, he just shuffles things back into the deck. And we're gonna see an overlay of these 2 monsters from the monster that got summoned out. We're gonna see a Broad Bowl. Broad Bowl is gonna fetch a card, sending the Dark Worm into the graveyard so he can be revived later by its own effect. This is overall going pretty nuts, and I don't think he normal summoned yet, has he? He's gonna go into a Borbo. So that one's gonna get thrown under a bus, and he's gonna overlay into a second Broad Bowl because of course this one was made normally. So he's gonna get himself another search. He can get himself a Whiptail or a Ram. Overall, which one would he go for? I don't know. Maybe he already uses Dragoons or Draconian too, so he's gonna go with a Ram to give him the long-term grinding play. And Burning Abyss is of course a grindy deck. Oh no, he's gonna go with a Whiptail. Whiptail can deal with the floatiness of the Burning Abyss deck, so not a bad choice either way. I'm looking at Cam's hand, and Cam's hand, he has two types of Mirror Forces in his hand. He has a Storming Mirror Force, and he has a Twin Twister, no back row. Okay, so just a Dryden and a Ignister. But Calvin did recover a few cards into his hand, so whatever that he put out right here is it's quite scary. If he doesn't answer to the Ignister, the back row is not going to live. So we're going to see a 4-card set and a set monster. Well, now if Calvin attacks, it's going to be pretty bad. If he summons, is there Torrential? I'm not too sure. But if that's a Scarm, man, this can spin out of hand very fast. What is in his hand right now? I can't exactly tell. But no Twin Twisters, I think. He's gonna pop his own Sorcerer. So the monster is gonna get shuffled back in. That's actually a pretty smart play. Don't hit the random back row. Know that if you get rid of the monster, if it's a monster that has any sort of effect in the graveyard, it's not gonna happen. Now, does he have a second master you want to summon out of the deck? It could be very dangerous to summon anything right now. He's just gonna go for the swing. Would you trade one of your Mirror Forces for the Ignister? Personally, I would trade anything for that Ignister because that Ignister will kill you in a couple of turns. No, he is gonna use the Mirror Force. So Mirror Force will destroy the Ignister, even though it leaves the Dryden. It's better than leaving that monster on board, because that monster means that you're going to lose one of your cards on the field as well as a chunk of your life points. You can see that scale 0 and the scale 6, or we can potentially see a Pendulum summon here. Normal summon of the rat. No effect. And we're going to see a Tiger Mortar. And to some people that are playing the German copy of Tiger Mortar, Tiger Morser, we're going to see a Torrential Tribute to blow up everything. Now, the scales aren't exactly in the safest position because the scales are still under the threat of... oh, actually, it's pretty safe for this turn. But next turn, it won't be so safe because, well, next turn there's a Twin Twister in the back. Okay, we're going to see a Rat summon.
I have like Japanese style. No, it's okay. Oh, it's the max. Yeah.
Okay, so Rat onto... I'm wondering if he's waiting for a big push just to deal with this. Like, he's not... Like, Calvin's not going to put anything in attack mode right now. He doesn't exactly have any attack points. Are we gonna say Pendulum Summon for 2? Oh, he's gonna leave the Luster in. Pendulum Summon for 2. Oh, there's a big Torrential Tribute. Well, that Torrential Tribute is going to wipe the entire board. You know, 1 for 5, that's a pretty good number. There is a slight thing I want to point out, is that Cam did activate it a bit too soon. He didn't wait for the Pendulum Sorcerer to target first. But judging by the situation from what I see on the field, the Pendulum Sorcerer is probably not going to target any of the monsters, just because most of these monsters, they can overlay into something else, and by popping the scales, he can actually draw 2 cards, and ideally you would want to draw 2 cards, so I'm just going to give him the benefit of the doubt that it doesn't really matter in this situation. He's going to proceed to search a Skullcrab Joker since he did lose his entire board, and he's going to go with the Gi Turtle. So it's kind of like a Pot of Greed play, just one step away. And he has a Dragon Shrine in hand, and he's going to... And he uses the effect of Dark Worm, summon itself back out. He was ready. He's basically eating most of the back row, and he's going to be summoning that in attack mode. There's nothing in search since there's no skill 0, and he's going to pass turn. Overall, he did recover pretty well. Cam is breaking pretty hard right now. He's drawn no monsters. As a BA player, and Calvin just top decking into a Max E is going to be a very painful time. Now, this is that bad situation that you never want to be in anymore, because, yeah. As a Pendulum player, previously, we know that if you let us establish our scales while we have 4 or 5 monsters in the extra deck that are Pendulum summonable, you will get pretty screwed. Okay, we're gonna see a Storming Mirror Force, which does retrieve those 2 monsters, but for a Pendulum deck, having cards in your hand is no different from having it destroyed and put in the extra deck. Turtle will provide Calvin with that 1 card draw because he did scale up another performable monster. And yeah, that extra deck is very scary. Torrential is at 1, so if we see a Pendulum summon, there better be a strike now, because if you don't strike this down, you're going to die. By die, I mean you're just never going to keep up anymore. You're going to fall so far behind, and yeah, that's not going to work out. Okay, we're going to see an Dynaster. And Dynaster is going to special summon out the Master into defense summon. Now note that okay, he's gonna overlay right away too. Just note one thing: all the Pendulum cards cannot be basically cannot be destroyed right now. And we're gonna see Abyss Dweller activate, sent to the graveyard, so that there's no BA effects that can go off. And I give another Skullcrobat Joker. Oh my god, man, this is just very one-sided at this point. The amount of advantage that has come from the Pendulum scales, the Dark Worms. The Dark Worms are proving to be very, very effective monsters in the graveyard. It's like having your own version of Fairy Tail Snow. That one doesn't really Book of Moon or anything, but it does give you the extra level 4 body. Dark Worm is noted to be one of the best monsters so far. What are you going to do, Cam? We're gonna see a Compulse on the Dynaster. Okay, that's fair game. Got rid of a big powerful monster. And he's gonna be taking the 18 from Skullcrobat Joker. Oh boy. Oh my god, a Pendulum summon. Maybe this is why Pendulums need to be nerfed. But do they really deserve a nerf this big? Yeah, I think they do. I think Pendulums probably do need a bit of a slowdown. If you get to the point where you can grind out your opponent like this, you know, BA is a deck that's known to grind, but he did brick, so I guess Calvin has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards on the field, 5 cards in hand. Cam's down to 2 cards. Even if he traded 3 for 3 or 3 for 1, it's still not gonna come back in Cam's favor. And I don't think this is gonna go anywhere far. Oh, we got another summon for Whiptail. You gotta keep track of whichever one that is Pendulum summon and whichever one that is normal summon. Just keep that in mind. We're gonna see an overlay. We're gonna see a Daigusto Emerald. Man, he's just getting even more and more advantage. Man, oh, is there a response from Cam? Cam has a response. He needs a Book of Moon. He takes down that Daigusto Emerald before the effect activates, and then we're gonna see another Dynaster. The Dynaster's back on the field. I think there's a strike in the back. I don't think anyone's ever gonna come back from this. Standby phase, Dweller.
Okay, guys, so we're taking Winnamat number 2. Sign up. Winnamat number 1 has we have one Winnamat winner already, and we're taking sign up for the second one.
And Apparently I'm making announcements in the background for the Winamat events that happened during MOS5. Winamats.
$50. It's been a really strange game.
I really wish that Cam didn't get that bad of a break, because this kind of breaking is not something you want to see in a Burning Abyss deck, because you run mainly just a bunch of monsters. And Cam has been using his been getting minuses for just staying alive. Oh, he's using Digusto Emerald to shuffle back the Dryden, the Ignister. This gives him the access to Ignister once again if he does choose to make him.
To all Yu-Gi-Oh player and spectators, please do not talk while the event is going on. Thank you.
Oh man. I don't know what I want to commentate now that this board is this full and this much damage is there. It's just going to kill him. Just put him out of his misery. He's watching himself die right now. He's down to 2 cards. You have way too many cards. It's a very sad situation to see. And you're adding yourself a Lizard Dart to draw an extra card. And now you got to overlay into what? A Magister? No, Tornado Dragon, it kills him. That was it. There's a monster, but it is too late. He drew no monster, he had a kaiju. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you like this video, please drop us a like so we know we are doing a good job. And you can also subscribe to MST.TV for more fantastic videos by clicking on the button on the left. Don't forget to check out our partners at Imperium Duelist. They make really high quality mats, including some of my own limited edition release stuff. And if you want to check out one of our past videos, click here on the right. As always, don't forget to hold on to your MST.TV, and I'll see you next time.